Advertising patches on jerseys. Ulises, like it or hate it, they're coming to Major League Baseball.
To be tacky or not to be tacky? That is the question. Let's answer it right now.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano.
And we're the host of the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for making us your very first listen every day. Be sure you check out and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Locked On Rays, as well as all the other podcasting platforms available. We're also on Twitter and Instagram at Locked On Rays. And you can email us anytime, lockedonrays@gmail.com. So I was reading Mark Topkin's Rays Tales the other day. Terrific column, I should note. Give him some credit there. And he says or reports that the Rays, as of now, won't be among the teams wearing an advertising patch on their jerseys, as Major League Baseball is now allowing this season. But they could strike a deal in the coming months.
By the way, before we start on this, I got a weird DM from Tristan Gray asking for your number, and he wants to meet up with you about something that you said or something on Thursday's episode. I don't know.
Boy,
it was odd. Yeah,
that's not good news. Maybe he should focus on the cage, not strike out as much.
I'll let him know. I'll let him know.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Look, you can get really into this whole patches on the jersey. Is it tacky? Yes, of course it's tacky. Of course it's tacky. Remember when the Nike one, the swoosh, was introduced into the uniforms and everybody just put their underwear over their head and they were like, oh my God, this is awful.
I actually liked it. I think it adds a little flair and appeal having the little Nike swoosh.
I haven't heard a lick since it happened because people had their Twitter, rant when it came out, and then it just became normal. And nobody has I've not seen one single tweet about like, how dare they have these Nike swooshes? Oh my God, I still hate it. Like, no.
And quite frankly, if you're complaining about that and pontificating about a Nike swoosh on a Major League Baseball jersey, man, I envy your life and how few issues and problems you have going on. If you have the time and the energy and the emotional reaction, one, I guess it could be you have a lot of time on your hands. Two, you're just bat blank crazy, like Charles Manson level crazy, if you're like putting up that big of a stink about it. Because yes, now the advertising patches, they could be a little bit of a quirkier business, at least to start.
My only thing would be don't make it NASCAR like, make them, on the side of an arm, on the sleeves, something kind of not so huge.
And that's what it looks like. I'm looking at an image of the Boston Red Sox, who inked a 10-year, $170 million deal with Mass Mutual. And it's a square rectangular patch on the left or right side of the jersey. I mean, it looks about the size or a little bit larger than a business card, if you will.
That's
Maybe
great.
the size of an iPhone.
That's great. I mean, look, man, 10 years, 170 mil. That's what you said?
Yeah.
That's more revenue for your team. That's more, hey, let's see if we get this guy. Maybe we don't have to trade everybody before they hit ARB2 because they're too expensive. No, we got the Mass Mutual $170 million contract. And I understand, people, before you put it on the comments. Yes, it's the Red Sox. Of course, it's going to be a little bit more expensive to get on there. And the Rays would probably not get that kind of, dough if they ever do get a sponsor. But it would help. I mean, I don't see them getting something, Louisiana hot sauce for like $5 million.
Right.
I don't see that.
Well, that's the thing. So I've got some other deals here because, again, these patches are evidently selling like hotcakes. I mean, teams, they want that extra money. They want that extra cash flow, whether they're using it to sign or lock up players, or, have the owners pocket it, whatever. It's more revenue coming in. The Reds signed a deal with Kroger for $5 million annually.
Okay.
I don't have all the prices here, but the Diamondbacks is affiliated with tech company Avnet. The Houston Astros are moving forward on a deal with energy company Oxy. And the San Diego Padres, they were actually the first team to sign a jersey patch deal, signing with Motorola in April 2022, worth around $9 million per season. So if I were the Rays, I mean, if you're thinking as a fan, I mean, probably somewhere closer to the Reds deal of, $3, $4, $5 million annually, right? I mean,
Okay, so just put it in half. 5 mil to 9 mil. Let's go 7.
okay.
7 mil per year. That's nice, man. That's
Yeah.
really nice. That's probably what Randy Arozarena is going to cost you next year.
Yeah. I mean,
So
maybe that extra money could have been used to lure Michael Brantley into a Rays uniform, or
exactly.
those extra $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, $7 million count and matter at the end of the day. Now, to your point of you don't want this to look like NASCAR. Is this something that has happened? Was it in Venezuela or other countries where it's just logo, advertisement, slogan galore?
Out of control. And it was already out of control when I started watching baseball in the mid 90s, like 95, I think was the first season. And you had Coca-Cola in the back and like something on the sleeve, but I mean, now it's out of it's out of control, and it happens in the Dominican, it happens in Puerto Rico, it happens in Mexico, it happens in Venezuela. Like it's gotten crazy. That would bother me, and it bothers people, it bothers fans. You're basically like a walking billboard if you're a
Right.
player. It doesn't look good. It is tacky.
And
But
I think that's where baseball needs to get out ahead of this and in front of this. And I don't know if they've put protocols in place or a moratorium in place on, hey, one side of your arm sleeve, that's it. Maybe somewhere on your ball cap, that's it. We can't go overboard with this
right.
thing. You have to
No,
have
yeah.
some sort of limitation in place.
Please have a limitation in place, like one on the hat and one on each sleeve, and that's it. Nothing on the back, nothing on the front. You already have the Nike swoosh. Nothing on the back. It should just be the number and the name of the player, if that's the kind of franchise that you have with the name on the back.
Yeah.
But that would be my ideal scenario. Maybe something on the helmet, as
Possibly.
well. So one on the helmet, one on the hat, and then one on each sleeve, and then cut it quits. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That I would be okay with. The sleeves, like, are we really paying attention to baseball players' sleeves, people? Yeah, you're really not. You're really not.
Well, that's the thing is, the Rays, well, not just the Rays, but baseball throughout the course of a season, they have so many jersey and themed promotions of, hey, Memorial Day, they wear a patch there. It's like a rose flower thing that they have going on. I mean, they do a bunch of different things for breast cancer and
Father's Day,
veterans. I mean, there's, if you're getting like super traditional and old school of, hey, I just like, a clean cut jersey. Well, I mean, I hate to break it to you, but there's about a dozen times during the season where you're going to be looking at pink bat and pink gloves and pink numbers. So, I think that's also something that needs to be considered as well. I've got a few more comments on this, and listeners have some takes as well before we get to baseball trivia and name that war. But Ulises, we have to tell the audience about something very important.
Yes, we do. And you know what? If you're listening to this podcast, a daily baseball podcast, then I know that you've dreamt of being a GM in your life. Of course you have, because you're listening to this. So I'm excited to tell you that now that dream can become true. You can manage every strategic aspect of a team by downloading Ultimate Baseball GM. You can play through the season and lead your team to glory. You'll be responsible for hiring the right coaches and staff, scouting and drafting players, navigating your franchise through free agency, and all the ups and downs of the season. I've downloaded it, and it's really fun. There's actually you kind of have to match coaches' personalities to the players so that they actually get along, and you kind of build team chemistry. It's a really, really cool experience, and I really think that you guys should download it. Locked On Race listeners will get a 100% free boost to their franchise when using the promo code Locked On in the game store. That's LOCKEDON in the game store. So make sure to check that out. You can download the game at probaseballgm.com. You can scan the code, or guess what? You know how to use a phone. You can look it up in your app store. Okay, that's very, very easy. Ultimate Baseball GM. Start your dynasty today.
Couple things about Ultimate Baseball GM. You probably don't want to pair an Evan Longoria with a BJ Upton or a Pat Burrell and a Carl Crawford. If you know, you know. If you're a legit Rays fan, you should know the backstory and history on those dilemmas and matters. Continuing on this jersey patch thing, again, if you're making a big stink about this, you probably have bigger fish to fry. I mean, you should probably be more concerned about robot umpires and ghost runner rules and things of that nature. But what I'm interested in, a couple things, is who is going to be that jersey patch sponsor for the Rays? Is it one of the existing corporate sponsors, you think?
I think I have a better question than that.
Okay.
I think if the money is known, Kevin, if everybody knows that the Reds are getting $5 million on because of the patches of their sleeve,
yeah,
we all better see $5 million more on next year's payroll. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
If I were Rob Manfred, or, but again, Rob Manfred just works for the owner, so it's never going to happen.
Right.
Just like in politics, like, oh yeah, we should have term limits. Yeah. Who's going to do that? Themselves? It doesn't make sense.
Right.
So
although it's almost, when I think about that, yeah, it'd be great if the Rays and some of these smaller market teams, hey, the Reds ink a deal with Kroger for $5 million. Then instead of your payroll being $75 million, it's $80 million. I understand that, but it's almost, to me, it seems like kind of a no-win situation or a zero-sum game. Well, not totally, but like if the Red Sox are inking these major deals, that just means they can go out and spend more money and they're still going to be able to outspend the little dudes that could, if you will. But for the Rays, I mean, that extra $5 million can go a long way for sure.
Better be good at negotiating. And you know what? Not always the Red Sox will win. We actually have a case where they didn't win. Zach Eflin, okay? Yeah. He was offered the same deal from the Red Sox and then to the Rays, and he said, you know what? I'll take TBR. So I understand your point, and I think it would sway, but I don't think all of the cases would go that way. But that's something I would like to see. Like if the money is out there, we never see money number wise from franchises. Like they keep that mum, except for the Atlanta Braves. Yeah. That would be something. If I could have my cake and eat it too, that would be really cool. But
and maybe it's one of those things where these big market teams like the Red Sox and the Yankees, I don't know if the Yankees would actually ever do this. They might be very,
probably not
traditional, but that they use this extra money and they just spend it. They just spend it on another albatross contract that ultimately hamstrings them. So that could be a play as well. But so I've got a list of corporate sponsors here. I want to know which one you think is most likely to be the next jersey patch sponsor of the Rays. I have, and these are ones that I just, in following the team, you hear these names quite a bit. You've got Moffitt, Papa John's, Outback, Tijuana Flats, Morgan Auto Group, shout out to Victor Young, Sagicor Life Insurance, Budweiser, Vinoy Renaissance, Kane's Furniture, and I'll throw this in as well, the Reds, Kroger, the Rays, Publix. Publix is a possibility. And I guess Tropicana too. I mean, but I don't think that's in play.
I would love it if they strike something with Publix. I've dreamt so long of the Publix Park idea.
It's very Florida.
It's very Florida, and it's not like I don't know. It would be nice not to be advertising something that doesn't matter. Like everybody needs groceries,
Facts. Yeah, that is true.
I wouldn't like to a shady, like, oh, what are they doing? Like, where's that money really going to? Like, it'd be nice, like a grocery store. Like, it's just a grocery store. Like,
and everybody loves Publix. Like, it's hard to find some Publix naysayer. I mean, it's so clean and the pub subs are so good. And it's a little bit more pricey than, in Aldi's or whatever, but it's consistent.
Yes.
Publix I go to in Lakeland is similar to the Publix I go to in Kissimmee, similar to the one I go to in Zephyr Hills and Tampa. And I know what I'm getting when I go to Publix.
I've never had a bad chicken tender sub from Publix. Never.
That's very fair.
Never.
The other thing too. So I am not a big Jersey or Jersey guy, but I wonder how this would impact or affect Jersey sales, and if somebody would pay a higher premium for a jersey without a patch, or if the team or teams would just distribute like, hey, we're not even going to give you an option. You got to have this jersey with this advertising patch on it. Or it can be something like, hey, you can have it without the patch for $300, or you can have it with the patch for $225. I'd be really curious in that economics.
I mean, knowing the Rays, that would be a smart play. Sell it up for a little premium if you don't want the advertisements. If most people, if they do their market research and they find out that most people hate the advertisements, then I think that would be a smart play. Yeah. But you know what? If you're one of those people that Kevin called out twice in this episode, which I completely agree with, and you really just can't take these advertisements, then listen to Kevin Weiss. Buy your jersey today, because it's a coming, baby. It's a coming, and don't pay that premium. Buy it right now.
Right. Hey, and aren't they gonna have a 25th anniversary patch? I mean, that's a collectible, but I mean, patches are coming in some shape or form. Right. It's just part of the game nowadays. So we put it out on Twitter. Are you in favor of jersey advertising patches on Rays uniforms? 26% say yes, 43% say no, 31% say doesn't matter. Some comments here. The Caden Jacob says a Tropicana sponsorship is the only acceptable one. Let me note something on Tropicana. I have personally never bought Tropicana products or juices because they're affiliated with the Rays and you have Tropicana Field. And the other thing too, I would think for Tropicana, it's almost a net negative to have the dome named Tropicana Field, because everybody talks crap on it and it just gets bamboozled with negative comments, and that has to carry over to the company in some sense, right? I would think like that's got to be some weird. I mean, you really have to think deeply about it of like, how much are they really benefiting, if at all, if you're like, it's just, oh my God, the Trop, it sucks. Tropicana Field, it's a mess. It's a dumpster fire.
I mean, maybe I see where you're coming from, but if you're a Rays fan and you have an option A, juice, whatever, and option B, Tropicana.
Yeah.
If you're a Rays fan, you're going to
nationally. I mean more nationally.
Oh, nationally, yeah. But again, nationally, people don't even know. I can tell you that probably most of the Cincinnati Reds fans, just to grab one of NL teams, they don't know that Tropicana Field is Tampa, or that the Tampa Bay Rays play at Tropicana Field. Like, they don't know. They don't associate that.
I mean, New Era couldn't even get it right on the ball caps.
Exactly. Thank you for making my point. Yes.
Yeah. Cigar City. Nope. That's not St. Petersburg. You missed the boat on that one. Recall. Those hats got canceled so quick. I mean, in the age of cancel culture, that might have been the quickest cancel ever.
Quicker cancel, but I want the second quicker cancel to be, let's not call Josh Lowe J-Lo.
Okay. Yeah, I mentioned that.
I know. I almost said something, but I'm going to say it right now. Please, I beg you, Rays fandom. I beg all of that is holy in your life, all that is sacred, all that you hold dear to you and your soul. Let's not call this man J-Lo. Please.
Yeah.
find something else. There are plenty of things you can call this guy with any of the abilities that he has. This man should not be called J-Lo.
Yeah. There's only one and only J-Lo. And I'd rather be hanging out with that J-Lo than the J-Lo that plays baseball for a living.
I mean, let's just, let's not do it. It's a disservice to call this guy J-Lo. So just putting it out there.
Yeah, it's really putting high pressure and expectations too. Yeah, there's got to be something that comes up a little bit better than that. Come on, we can do better, guys.
Come on,
we
guys.
can do a lot better. Another comment here from Brian Kim says, we'll look too tacky. Okay, so that's what we got as far as that. We have baseball trivia and Name That War coming up. But first, the midway point of the NBA season is here, and now is the perfect time to download FanDuel. It is America's #1 sports book. That's because new customers get a no-sweat first bet for up to $1,000. That's bonus bets back if your first bet doesn't win. Go ahead and download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. It is safe, secure, super easy to use. You can bet on so many different things: money lines, points scored, threes drained, all of it. Also, FanDuel even lets you combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payout with a same-game parlay. So don't miss the chance to get your no-sweat first bet on up to $1,000 in bonus bets when you go to FanDuel.com/locked-on. That is FanDuel.com/LOCKEDON to learn more. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. All right, Ulises, let's get right into it. It being a Friday episode, we have baseball trivia and Name That War, and I think you're actually going to like and probably do well with my Name That War question. But before that, you've got trivia for me.
Okay, so I guess we were on the same wavelength. We're both playing nice today, which is good. I have a very easy question for you. I'm looking at average exit velocity for the Rays in 2022. So, a little caveat here to get some more names so it's not so easy. I picked 100 as a minimum of batted ball events. 100 is the minimum of batted ball events. So, I have the list here of 16 players. Okay. I will give you number 1, because he's no longer on the team, Ji-Man Choi at 92.2. And I will give you number 16, Vidal Brujan at 86.1. Who didn't see that coming? All I want is from the top 10, including Ji-Man Choi, because it's already there. Can you name 5 of these guys? Okay.
Question. Are all the rest of these in the top 10 presently on the team?
Yes.
Okay.
So except for number 10, sorry. Except for number 10.
Okay. So name 5 of the top 10.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm actually kind of surprised that Vidal Brujan had 100 batted ball events. That's interesting. Okay.
Barely.
I will go with Yandy Diaz.
He is number 2 on the list with 92.2.
Just got to get that launch angle right.
Exactly.
And where he squares the ball. How deep are you going to let that ball get to before you make impact? Gonna pull it a little more? We'll see. Okay. Yandy. Okay. Isaac Paredes.
That would be incorrect. He's number 11. I'm sorry. At 87.4.
That is interesting. Okay. Moving along here, I will say he had to have at least 100 batted ball events. Brandon Lau.
175 batted ball events. He is number 7 at 89.4.
Okay. I'm going to go off the rails a little bit, but I think this guy is on there. Jose Siri.
Number 13, strike 2 at 87.2.
Oh, man. Okay, I'm going to go. I mean, he's got to be on there. Wander Franco.
Strike 3.
Oh, my goodness.
Is number 12 at 87.3. I'll run through the names. Number 1, Ji-Man Choi. Number 2, Yandy Diaz. Number 3, David Peralta. Number 4, Christian Bethancourt. Number 5, Randy. Number 6, Margot. Number 7, you got right, Bilal. Number 8, Harold Ramirez. Number 9, Josh Lowe, nickname to be named later. And number 10, the Outlaw, Kevin Kiermaier.
Oh, so there were 2 on that list that are no longer on the team. Kiermaier, well, 3.
Yeah,
Choi,
1 and 10.
Kiermaier, and Peralta.
Oh, my bad. Okay, you get a foul tip there. You get a foul tip. Okay, you get a foul tip.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna. No, I struck it. Oh, that was inappropriate. I'll cut that out. I'll put a little bleep noise in there. It's coming.
Okay.
Oh man, that disappoints me because I really should have said Randy. I was thinking like, okay, I know Isak had 20. Who was the other guy with 20 home runs? And then I just totally did not think of Randy. So I'm sorry for that. This guy, probably would have made this list if he played for the Rays back in the day. Of course, he did not. And I don't think I'm giving away the farm here and saying this guy could hold his own. What is the career WAR of Moises Alou?
Oh, man. Moises Alou.
Career baseball reference WAR, because I will note his Fangraphs WAR is noticeably different than the BREF WAR.
Okay. Damn, I read Peralta and I was like, oh, he's not on the team. I didn't even tell you. Damn. Okay.
You screwed me.
I know. And I probably screwed some listeners too. Like, dude, what the heck?
You like Steve Bartman, Moises Alou, and the Cubs.
Yeah, sorry, Locked On Race listeners. I that's my bad. That's my B, guys. That's my B. Please apologize. Or you know what? Hate me on the comments, but make sure to subscribe and like the video first.
Yeah. Who struck out more, Steve Bartman after that game or during the 2022 AAA season?
Yeah.
Moises Alou.
Moises Alou. Okay. I'm going to think that he played a good 15 years in the league. 15 years in the league. I'm thinking like his last year was around like 2005-ish, 2006. And he probably started like in early 90s. So 15 years. I would say that he was for a good 10 years, he was like a 3 WAR player. So that's a good 30. What did he do with the next 5 years? Just 1 WAR per, and then he'd be a 35 guy. I'm going to go with 35.
Moises Alou, who did not wear batting gloves, one of the few modern players who didn't. Fun fact, he would actually urinate on his hands to toughen them up before games. So that was his secret. I wonder if Joey Wendell does that.
Didn't know that. Yeah. Wow.
I guess it holds some merit, or at least there's some superstitious quality to all that. So don't shake Moises Alou's hand, I guess. That probably was the old thing.
If you're going to try that at home, wash your hands after, please. Thank you.
Please, yes. You don't want to spread germs around. Yeah. Okay. Moises Alou, who, oh my God, in 2000 with the Astros, he had 355. That is insane.
Oof, I missed it then. Damn.
What was your guess?
35.
35? I'm just going to run through a couple. Man, he had some really good batting averages. He was a career 303 hitter.
Damn.
He played 17 years.
Okay.
Montreal, the Cubs, of course, the Astros, the Mets, the Giants, Pittsburgh, and the Marlins.
Yeah.
Over his career, he had 332 homers, 2,134 hits, a career OPS plus of 128, career OPS of 885.
You're killing me.
He was an outfielder. He was a 6-time All-Star. He was a 2-time Silver Slugger. He did win a World Series in 1997, ironically with the Marlins. His career WAR is 39.9 according to Baseball Reference.
Okay. I'll take it.
Very solid. Now, on Fangraphs, they peg him at 48 career WAR.
Oh, wow.
Which I probably would have thought if you look at his numbers through and through.
Those are really good numbers, man. 332 home runs and a 300 batting average, like over 17 years, like OPS plus of 128, a 516 slugging. If you have a career slugging starting with a 5, you a man.
Yeah. And what's too, it's not like a season where he hit 48 bombs and then 39 and then 46.
Constant, baby.
No, it was just consistently like 24 to 35, basically. He had a couple years of 35 and 36, one with 31, another with 34. The others were in the 20s, more or less.
Yeah.
So he was a bat. One other note I want to mention. So in his first year of Hall of Fame eligibility in 2014, just want to get your take on this. How many votes or what percentage of votes do you think he received?
Probably like 2%.
Very close, 1.1%. And of course was dropped off subsequent ballots because you need that. Has it been changed? Is it still 5% and you stay on?
Yeah, exactly. 5% and you stay on, yeah.
So, Hall of very good. Hall of really, really good.
Yeah, that's amazing.
A lot of teams would like some Moises Alou.
The Rays
numbers up. Yeah.
Would like a guy that has a 128 OPS plus.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. That would be nice. All right. Thank you for making the Locked On Rays podcast your very first listen every day. Now make your second listen, the Locked On Fantasy Baseball podcast. That is also free and available on all platforms. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we will talk to you next week.